This is a Tape Deck podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Inside the Runner Studio. This is your host Tom, and with me as always are Erin, Michael, and Diana.
Hello.
Hello.
And we're joined by our friend Jack. Hi, Jack.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you? You guys are all right?
Good.
Tom's always making it awkward. I like it.
See,
yes,
the thing
yes,
is,
this is a good way to
Tom
start.
starts this different
How
every
is that
time.
awkward?
Yeah, that's
I think
because
it's 'cause
he
he
is
was
right.
Totally thrown off.
Jack, I can't win. No matter what I say, I cannot win. This is not
I think
professional.
because people
true.
expect you to be like, "How are you?" and then you like paused. You just said, "We're with our friend Jack," and then like that was it.
Here's the thing. When I say
I'm sorry, Tom.
Erin,
We love you.
Michael,
We love
and
you.
Diana, it takes you all a beat to be like, hello?
Well, that's because we don't want to talk over each other, and then it inevitably happens
Yeah.
anyway.
This is not about us. This is not about us and our problems. This is about Jack. Thank you for joining us.
His problems, yes.
Yeah. So,
All about your problems.
so I think you know the format. We're going to ask you some running related questions, some non-running related questions, and get to know you. But before we do, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Jack Witzig, last name. I've been married to the same person. That's always good for 22 years now. It's 2022.
Awesome.
Okay. No kids. Live in South Jersey, very close to Philadelphia, within a couple of hours of New York, D.C. And we have a dog, Beagle, who hopefully you won't hear too much on this recording. Couple of black cats who are bouncing around somewhere. I never have any idea where they are. One of them's asleep over there. I work as a project manager for a major financial company. That's who I am.
And you live
And
down
you
the street
live-
from Erin and Michael,
I
right?
was gonna say, and you
Yeah.
live right down the street from us.
That is very true. Yeah, about 3-4 miles away, something like that.
Yeah, and we said it's so funny that we've known you in some capacity for quite some time, but like we only really saw you in person for the first time in all the years that we've been local when we ran into you in Haddonfield recently.
Oh, yeah, at the running store.
Yeah, right. I was on my way to dump off a bag full of running shoes for recycling. You thought it was my laundry. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. From back from the Team Shenanigans days, I guess.
Yes.
We knew each other a little
Yep.
bit from then. Yeah.
Yep.
All roads lead back to shenanigans.
Always.
That's
Yeah.
true.
TS runs.
Oh, goodness.
So I guess we can jump into the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So, are you a morning, midday, or evening runner?
Well, I used to be an evening runner just because that's the way my schedule worked out. As I commute more than a couple of hours every day up to
Oh, wow.
Princeton when I'm in the office. But the pandemic turned me into a morning runner. I've always been kind of a morning person. So yeah, I wake up in the morning, get some miles in, and then either drive up to work or log in. So morning runner now.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is one goal that drives you the most to run?
Yeah, I thought about this one, and it's really it's become such a part of my life that I don't know. I mean, I have specific goals along the way. I'll say, like, I want to do this marathon or, run every street in this town or something like that. But they're all just kind of, that just branches out from, it's become such a habit, such a part of my life over the last 6 or 7 years that I've been running and that's basically it. It's just a thing I do.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
were talking about this before we started recording, but we talk about Jack on the show sometimes because he is the gentleman who ran every street in his town and is now doing it with Cherry Hill.
Yeah. And you've done, how many towns have you done now? What town number are you on?
I think I'm up to 22.
Wow.
Yeah, and some of them are small, some of them are big for the people who are local, and for people outside of this area will have no interest in this, but like Pensauken's a sort of a bigger town that I've done. And
Yeah.
there's this one island that I can't get onto because Citgo still owns it, and I'm just waiting for them to open it up to the public so I can go run some trails next to an oil tank. It's a sickness.
Love
And
it.
you did what's the town with the coal fire that I cannot remember the name
Oh,
of?
Centralia in
Centralia.
Oh
Pennsylvania.
yeah, he said that. Yeah.
Yeah. This town for I know a lot of people actually are familiar with it, but yeah, it's had a coal fire burning underneath it for the last 60 years.
Oh my
it's caused.
God.
Yeah, they think that they were burning some garbage in 61 or 62 or something, and it spread to
The
coal
vein.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, coal vein. And over the course of the 40, 50, 60 years, the state has moved everybody out of there. I think there are 3 houses left in town. So it's kind of eerie to go running around this town where the streets still technically have names, and there's still curbs and maybe what used to be driveways, but you're just running up and down this grid of streets and there's nobody around. It's just all over.
I've never heard of
It's
this in my
essentially a
life.
ghost town.
Yeah.
Oh, you've never
This
heard of
is
that town?
wild. No.
yeah.
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 That's wild.
Essentially
And,
a ghost town.
Yeah. I've been there a few times. There's a lot of graffiti, a lot of inappropriate content out there.
There you go.
But, it was definitely an interesting place to run.
What is the biggest mistake you've ever made in a race?
Ooh, I love this question.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there have been a few times that I haven't fueled right and whatever, but the biggest one, and this just came to me, was the Dirty German 50 miler this year. I signed up for that, which is in Pennypack Park in Philly. So it's this big park inside the Philadelphia city limits, and it was mostly a trail run. And the weather this year in May was just horrid.
Yeah.
I mean, it was raining. It was cold for early May. And I was going back and forth about, whether I should wear a waterproof jacket or not, because people were telling me, oh, it'll make you too hot. It won't let you sweat because if water can't get in, it can't get out. But it's 3 16-mile, give or take, loops. And I finished the second loop and I stopped to refuel and I just started shivering like crazy. And that was the end of my day. I didn't do 50 miles. I mean, I did 32 miles, but man, I wish I had just taken that coat with me. Maybe I would have done the whole thing. Yeah, that was it. Very specific answer, but man, that I'm going to be scarred for life, or at least until next May. When maybe
I was
I
going to
can
say,
do it right.
you're going to make it come
exactly.
back and do it again? Yeah.
Yeah.
The 50 miler I did the 50K there. The
Okay.
50 miler has sort of always been on my list of 50 milers to
Did
do.
the 50
He
miler
did,
that
yeah.
year, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was 3 years ago?
2019 maybe?
Yeah, about
Okay.
that 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put on good races.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not me. I was
It's
about
not
to
you.
ask a question, but it's not my turn.
Not your turn.
Do you prefer winter or summer running?
Oh, winter, 100%. I know that Michael has very good reasons not to like winter running, but yeah, I'm one of those guys that when it was a few years ago, it was 11 degrees out and 20-mile-per-hour winds, and I went out and ran around Cooper River, a little.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
There's more of a lake that we have around here, just to see what it feels like.
Yikes.
It's also because I'm a horrid summer runner. I sweat a lot. I can't stand it. So
me.
it's almost winter by default.
You're like
I'm
one of
with you
those
on that
guys
one.
they show on the news, like like the newscasters out there in the snow and Jack's just running behind him.
Just me.
And people are
If
like,
it's
what's he doing?
Yeah. No, I would be one of those guys. If it's icy, I don't mess around with ice.
Thank you.
Because I've learned my lesson. But yeah,
I'll tell you
apart from
what.
that, I'm out there.
Get the micro spikes. You'll change your mind.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
We did like the spikes a lot.
Yeah, we ran in a lot
Yeah.
of ice 2 years ago
Really?
with micro spikes and had no issues at all, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
weirdly.
Alright.
But Cooper River is known for that is just so windy because that loop is just open air the whole way around. And so when it's cold out there, it's brutal, that loop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Jack's
it
just
is.
out there running it.
Yeah. Well, I had Himalayan food for the first time for the lunch after that, nice and warm and spicy. So it's all about the reinforcement at the end. You
That's
gotta
it.
talk about goals.
That's
That's spicy food is a good goal.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's actually not a bad transition. It's from, spicy foods and what's working and what's not. Have you had a piece of running gear or fuel or shoes that you've tried that did not work for you?
Did not work. Um, recently found a running belt that worked for me. A naked band is what they call it.
Oh,
Oh,
I've
I've
been
seen
wanting to
that.
get one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before that, man, any belts that I have just bounce and drive me crazy. There are also a couple of shoes that I've bought that I've been like, no, I can't do this. But that didn't work. No, I've been pretty
Pretty
lucky. I'm
lucky.
also pretty mercenary with the equipment. If something doesn't work, I just toss it and
Toss it right
try to
away.
find something
Yeah.
new. Yeah.
All right, we're going to move into the random questions. What is your favorite brewery or winery or cidery or all three?
Yeah. Well, I went to the dark side last year and quit drinking, so I don't have any current answers for
Oh,
this.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before that, man, there's a little brewery in town. I'm gonna be again very colloquial here. Eclipse Brewing in Merchantville, very
Okay.
comfortable little place. Um, but as far as they're very nice people and good beer. It's nothing that'll blow the doors off, but it's a good place. As far as a little bit bigger, man, Dogfish Head was that was my
Mm,
thing.
yep, love
Brewery
it.
in like a mid-sized brewery in Delaware that you guys know. Yeah, I
So
love
great.
Dogfish.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Their race, if anyone is interested, it's so great. Their Dogfish Dash. We've done it
Hmm.
once or twice. It's always really hard to get into. It like sells out like that day. So
I've never done it.
I feel
yeah,
like so
it's
many
short.
people were doing that I knew so many people doing it, and then the last few years I haven't heard a lot of people
I know
heading
with
down that
pandemic
way.
they hadn't had it for a while. I think it's a 5 miler
Yeah.
or an
Yeah.
8 mile, a 5 miler maybe. I don't
It's an
know.
8K, right?
Oh,
Which
8K.
is a
Yeah,
5 miler.
about 5
There you
Yes,
go.
yeah.
technically.
Oh, here we go. What incredibly common thing have you never done?
I have never bought anything at Starbucks.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
a good
any.
one.
Wow,
That's a really
that
good
is
one.
a really
Yeah,
good
it's.
answer.
I
That's a
know.
really
Good
I was
answer.
like, what haven't I done? It's not any sort of objection or anything, and I drink coffee all the time. I just
Yeah,
never bought anything at Starbucks.
Huh.
that is
Interesting.
a great one.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a good one.
All right. What was your first job, and what did you like or dislike about it?
I was a checker at a pool in Haddon Heights, New Jersey, which is the town I grew up
Oh,
in.
geez.
So, when you get to the front gate, I was the person that checked your membership and, gave out games. I think the rental was like a quarter or something for board games for little kids or, bocce balls or something
Yep.
like that. Yeah. What was good about it? It was a pretty chill, except over 4th of July weekend, which was nuts.
Oh,
I
It
can
was
yeah.
imagine.
yeah, a pretty easy job to have. And I got I had a little bit of responsibility with money. It was a good first job as far as that goes. With bad stuff, I mean, it paid minimum wage as it would. I got a
Mhm.
raise of a nickel an hour my second year. So that's the big money. I mean, yeah, I'm not even joking. It was a raise of a nickel an hour. Um, and sometimes people would, it's customer service, so you deal with the same things that you're dealing in
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
customer service job,
Oh, yeah.
especially when you're friggin' 16 years old.
That's true.
Yeah. So, but yeah, first job, it wasn't bad.
Love it. What band or artist would you be embarrassed to admit you listen to?
I don't listen to her as much anymore, but man, back in the day, I listened to Jerry Halliwell's solo albums.
Oh.
What's your
Really?
Ginger Spice?
Love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, her,
That's my favorite
her,
spice.
She's
I
my
Yeah.
like
favorite.
Diana's hearty laugh when that one.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's a great one.
I didn't
Yeah,
know she had a
gotta admit
solo
to that.
album.
That was so shocking to hear.
Yeah. That was so shocking to hear.
Yeah, I think she had at least three
She had,
albums.
yeah, I was like, she
Yeah.
had a few. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like it
do.
took a minute for it to register in Diana's head, and then all of a sudden the look on her face was just like, wait a second, what did he just say?
Yeah, I mean, I can make an argument for listening to a lot of the people that I listen to that maybe are a little whatever, not popular, a little strange like that, but there's really no good reason psychopath that I should have been listening to
If you
that.
gave me 1,000 guesses, I would have never thought you'd have said
You
that.
would have never called
No,
it Terry Holland.
none of them. That's funny.
Yeah.
Again, a new question that Michael has put on
Cool.
here on the fly. So sorry. Good
Get
luck.
ready.
Um, are you a selfie person or a photo of your journey type?
A photo of my journey. I took a few selfies back in the day, running selfies, especially for Team Shenanigans used to do a what do you call a scavenger hunt, like
Yeah.
you guys are doing this month, which I'm taking part in. And I took a couple of selfies as part of that, and they showed up on like our screensaver on our TV is Google Photos or something like that. My wife is like, "You gotta stop that." Like, okay. So I was never much of a selfie person, and I'm
Oh, that's
definitely
great.
not one now.
Oh,
I,
that's so
I gotta
funny.
live with her.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh.
I have a quick bonus question to ask because I forgot that Jack did send a list of things he didn't want or would want. So, Jack, I'd like to hear what your chafing story is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Right.
didn't
I
tell me
mean,
that.
it's not, it goes back to another Uber endurance sports race. The same people who put
Oh,
on
boy.
the Dirty German that we mentioned earlier. They have another race called the Half Sour Half Kraut.
Oh, a
Mhm.
very hot
Yep.
marathon. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I did. It's in June. I did the marathon one year and almost died by the end of it. And then I did the half marathon the next year. And for the age group awards, they give out these they look like little cuckoo clocks, except they're plastic, and it's a weather predictor. It just shows you how humid the weather is. So I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to place in my age group. But there was one for anybody who, the fastest person wearing lederhosen.
Oh.
So I wasn't wearing a costume. I decided to go out and buy a full set of leather lederhosen. So I'm running in
No.
these things.
Man.
They must have weighed like 10 pounds.
Oh my God.
I'm doing the half, and I did practice ahead of time. I was I was running up a canal towpath because there aren't too many runners out there. It was like around sunset, so because I didn't know what people were going to think about this guy just running around in leather lederhosen. So I tried to practice. I'm like, okay, it's probably going to chafe here, it's probably going to chafe there, but I only did a practice run of maybe 5 miles. So I get out there in, like Michael said, it was like 75 at the start of the race, or maybe even warmer than that,
Oh
and
no.
humid. And by the end of that thing, I was chafing so much. The backs of my knees, on my I was wearing a shirt underneath it, but it still rode up on my shirt. I just had chafing all over because I insisted on wearing this leather lederhosen.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
But
Oh.
I
A
looked
June
good.
summer race.
I looked fantastic. I sweated through the thing. And Stefan, the guy who runs this, was man, he was just tickled by this. He shouted at me from the top of an overpass. He's like, "How are you running into Hosen?" I'm like, "That's good so far." But yeah, I'll send that picture to you guys for the
gosh.
podcast. But
Oh my
I
God.
did get my award,
I love
and
it.
I got a lot of comments. So that actually answers another question you have about costumes. But I got my award, I got my beer, and a good time was had by all.
That's amazing.
Oh my
I can't
gosh.
imagine
But yeah, chafed for
leather.
Yeah.
leather. I chafed for probably 6 weeks after that in the backs of my legs. Ugh,
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
wouldn't do it again.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Do
And
not
I was even
recommend.
thinking like a
That's-
Do not
polyester
recommend.
like fake costume would be bad. But like you just took it to the
Yeah.
next level. Like it's just
Oh, like with running, man, when I start down that path, I got to do it. And I
You're
think the
all
later
in.
was only like $50, but yeah, all in, for better or worse.
Oh man. All right. Well, now we head into the James Lipton Memorial questions. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word is autumn. I like the what it means. I love the season. I love everything about it, and just the word itself. The M and N at the end. I just think it's cool. So everything about that word.
Love
What is your
that.
least favorite word?
I don't really have a least favorite word, but if I can go with a phrase, it's quick question. Because my
Yeah.
job involves dealing with questions pretty much all day. Project manager, I'm kind of in between one party and another party. So questions are fine, but this quick question usually means it's something I'm going to spend at least a day on. Yeah.
It's
Lots
never
of
a quick
nodding going
question.
on here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I feel like I use that a
Yeah.
lot at work. And sometimes, like, if I want somebody to look at it, I'll even make my subject line like really quick question, knowing that it's going to be like a 1 or 2 word something. But I can see how
That's
frustrating
okay.
it would be if
Yeah.
it's not that.
If you can be trusted, like there's some
Yes.
people I work with that I'm like, okay, I know this is going to be easy, or if it's not, they'll accept that. But
Yeah.
man, for the people that I don't know, I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jack. Quick question.
Mm.
What turns you
I saw
on?
that coming. I love just competence. I love when people just, it almost doesn't matter what they're doing, but people who are just, whatever they're doing, they're just good at it, kind of go about it quietly, do their job, and do it well. It's something I strive for. That and women with deep voices.
Hmm.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. And
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting
What
personal here.
what turns you off?
I'd love to say willful ignorance. People who know they should be doing something better, who they should be trying to be better, but they're not on purpose for whatever reason. But really, yeah, it's probably just poor grammar. Drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
I love it.
These answers are gold.
Oh, so good. All right. What sound or noise do you love?
Well, my dog, my dog is she's kind of a jerk. She barks constantly. She's a beagle, so you know what you're getting
Yep.
into when you get a beagle. Yeah. And she was left a couple of adopted, taken back, and then we adopted her. So yeah, not to pat myself and my wife too much on the heads, but just hearing her snore, knowing that she's either safe or too dumb to be worried. But just hearing that dog snoring is just my
Aw.
favorite noise in the world.
It's a forever home.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And then the opposite of that, what sound or noise do you hate?
It's a very specific answer, but when I moved out of an apartment a few years ago, and when we got our first house, part of the reason was we had neighbors who would play music all the time. So I'd be trying to sleep, we'd have the air conditioner on, and I would just kind of hear that bass
That
Oh,
bass.
in the
yeah,
background, just sort of hearing it, and then it became almost a PTSD thing, not to throw that abbreviation around, but for years I would kind of hear that even when I wasn't hearing it.
Like the
So that's
phantom
sort of,
sound. Yeah.
yeah, that just it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite curse word?
The S word is my favorite curse word. I like it because it's very concise. Also, it's very versatile. You can put it at the beginning of a word, like S face, S head. I think I just saw a story that Michael posted where he used S bag.
Oh, yeah, yesterday actually.
yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've heard that one.
Yeah.
That was a
You
new
can
one
also-
for me.
Yeah. I loved it. And knowing that I was going to talk about this word, and then hearing him say that, I'm like, oh, this is
Timely.
great.
That was literally just
Yes.
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was
And
surprised
then,
he even posted that, to be honest. I heard him like putting that reel together and I was like, did he just drop the S word?
Hold on, I'm young and hip. I put a TikTok together.
Oh, God.
And then posted
Oh.
it to Reels.
Is that okay?
All right,
That's-
come on now.
Oh,
And
my
I'm
God.
slightly younger than you are, and I don't even have TikTok, so don't feel bad about yourself.
Well,
I was an
if
early
you haven't
adopter.
started, don't
Oh
start.
my God.
Don't
But-
start.
Yeah, it's
I will
true.
say-
It's
I will
true. It's a
say-
rabbit hole. It's a
I will
rabbit
say
hole.
when we go through these, the F word gets so much love, and I'm appreciative that you're giving the S word
Yes.
its due.
I agree.
Yeah.
Michael
Nothing-
appreciates that he doesn't have to edit
That
any
too.
of this.
That too.
Yeah. I'm
Look,
trying
I'm not
to
gonna
help.
call out anyone named Allison, but I just had to do a bunch of editing on someone's episode.
Yeah, that's my favorite. You can also stick it at the end. Just pick an animal, put that word at the end of it, and you're good.
That's-
Chicken, horse,
That's
bull.
actually a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Bat's a good one. Very seasonal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can put that on our scavenger hunt. So, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
If I could go back in time, I would love to have been a film composer. It's just something that
Ooh,
I love, something that I realized a few years ago that I've always loved since I was a kid,
hmm
marching around to the Star Wars music with my best friend.
yeah.
So yeah, I could do
Yes.
that. Maybe after I pay off the mortgage, I'd love to get into museum administration.
Mm,
Just something I've always
yeah.
loved going to museums and just kind of seeing what that's like running one of them or helping to run one of them.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Those are great.
we have lots of good ones in Philly, so
Yeah, that is
yeah.
Yeah.
true. Many museums. What profession would you not like to attempt?
Anything that involves like asking people for things. I'm lousy with small talk. So, like cold calling or, or being in sales, even though I
Yeah.
could work behind the scenes in sales administration, I'd be okay with that, but actually doing sales, or even like the last time I flew, we were getting our bags at the luggage carousel and, cab drivers would come in asking if we needed help, needed a ride. I mean, even just that sort of thing. But there's no way I could do that, dealing with the constant rejection and just having to walk up to people.
Yeah.
Not my
Yeah.
skill. Yeah.
All right, Jack. I get the pleasure of asking you our final question, but before I do, thank you very much for being on with us. Um,
My
so, if heaven
pleasure.
exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I'd love to hear him say, bet you're glad you were wrong about this one. We are here. It exists. No,
That's a
I
great
think
one.
it might. I am open. I am open. And Granddad's over there.
Hmm.
There you
All right.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any parting words of wisdom or any shout outs you'd like to give?
Man, the quote that sticks with me for running isn't my own, but Henry Rollins had this throwaway line just saying, if you can get outside, you can run. And that's the way I feel. Man, if you
Yeah.
can wake yourself up on that cold morning and pull yourself out of bed and just get
Love
outside,
it.
and then you can do it. It'll be all right. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Well, thank you very much for being on with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And is this awkward enough for you, Erin?
Always, Tom.
All right. Well, Jack, thank you very much for being on with us, and we will talk to you later.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.